Hi everyone, I'm Rochelle. Today is a special day. It is actually Tuesday, it's not our usual Thursday. I am wearing a hat and it's time for Hat Chat. This is a special edition Hat Chat with the one and only, my friend and soon to be your friend, Deedee Wills from Mrs. Wills Kindergarten. Now I'm wearing a special hat today because it is Patriot Day, so we definitely never want to forget. So that's why I'm wearing my Patriot hat today, but let's bring in our guest.
Hi, hello.
I'm so glad to see you, Deedee Wills. Thank you so much.
Good to see you too. So I love your hat. Fun.
Thank you very much. I hope it's not too blinding, but if it gets blinding, we'll have to put it up. All right.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect.
We're so glad you joined us today. We are excited to talk about our series, Meet the Author of the ESGI Test. And you have created many tests for ESGI over the years. So we're super excited to talk about that. But first, I want to talk about your hat.
Okay, so this is actually a visor. Does that count as a hat? Can you see it?
Of course.
So this is a hat. This summer, we spent a lot of time outside. My husband and I, we went to the mountains and we were down by the beach. And so I needed something to accompany me to keep my face out of the sun as much as I could. So this hat has seen, I don't know, about 6 or 7 states this summer. So I thought I would just grab it for Hat Chat.
I love it. And that is really good. Protect your pretty face. That's what we got to do, right? In the sunshine. So that's really good.
Yeah. I'm losing the battle, but hopefully not the war, right?
No, that is not true. Okay, that looks very good on you. But you know, to get into Hat Chat, you have to tell a joke. So you have a joke for us?
Okay, so I have already confessed to you that I'm the world's worst joke person. Like I love jokes, I love hearing jokes, but I never remember them. But the one joke that I do remember was one that I told when I was really, really little, like, you know, like the first joke that you've ever told, and then every time you went somewhere, they said, tell your joke. And it's not that funny, but here it is. So how do you keep a dog from barking in the back seat?
How do you keep a dog from barking in the back seat?
You put him in the front seat. And then all the adults in the room, they just think it's not as funny from an older, more mature woman than it is when you're 3. But it drew quite a crowd back in the day. So anyhow, that's a joke.
I love it. That's great. And yes, I understand completely. When a little kid tells a joke, you just got to barrel over laughing. That's right.
Yes.
Well, Deedee, we know you here at ESGI really, really well, but not everybody who's watching may know about Deedee Wills. So can you tell us who you are, where you live, what you're passionate about?
Okay. So I am Deedee Wills. I live in Colorado. And lived here for the last 4 years. Grew up in Southern California. Spent some time living in Missouri as well. I started out as a second grade teacher, then worked as an instructional coach for K2, and then went back into kindergarten, which is kind of like where my heart is. So I stayed there for a number of years before moving to Colorado. So now I'm just a full-time consultant. I travel around, work with teachers, work with schools, do conferences and professional development. I blog over on Mrs. Wills Kindergarten. And what else? I have 1 child, 1 very old dog, and 1 husband who is a military member. So I should have described his hat. That would have been a better one for me today.
Oh, well, go get it. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, we are so glad that you are with us because you have got so much good information over on Mrs. Wills Kindergarten. Don't you also have a Facebook group people can join as well?
Yeah, I sure do. It's called the Primary Collaborative. It's a pretty active group. Teachers who are using our curriculum, they like to have a spot they can get to so that they can ask questions and share pictures and, you know, just kind of meet. And we do some Facebook Lives in there as well. So that is just for that group. So if people are interested, it's called the Primary Collaborative.
Okay, that's great. Maybe we'll link below too, or put the name so people see that in the comments. That would be great. And it is a super active group. And one thing that they're always talking about are your lessons, and people love them and they use them all the time. But here's something you guys may not know. Deedee has created tests to go along with much of the curriculum. So if you love the curriculum and you want to use the assessments, Deedee's going to tell you a little bit about the assessments that are in ESGI. That's going to save you time.
Yes. So we have a series of reading comprehension units called Engaging Readers. And basically, it's a closed read. So you take one book, you use it for the whole week. And at the end of the week, there's lots of different types of assessments, a lot of rubrics that we use. But one other option is a true and false kind of question. And so we have entered those questions into ESGI. So instead of trying to track it on paper, you can just go ahead and put that information in, true or false questions, 5 questions for each book. So it's just a real quick check. Some people need grades, and they thought this would be a helpful thing. So this is why we created the paper versions. And then, of course, naturally, it was a perfect fit for us to put it in ESGI also.
Yeah, we hear that a lot. How do you do comprehension tests in ESGI? Because it's a yes-no format. So just like you said, you put a statement on the screen based on the book, and then it's a true or false statement. And then the teacher clicks whether the child got it correct or not correct, right?
Right. Or, you could even do something like ask the child a question, a comprehension question, and based on their response, if they had, responded correctly or incorrectly. So, you could do that really for any type of kind of verbal assessment that you're doing. Just say, yes, they got that question right, or no, they got it wrong. So it's a great way to keep track of your data, for sure.
Yeah, and I love how all of your tests only have 5 questions, so it's super easy, super quick to get through the titles. Did you share some of the books that go with some of the, oh, go ahead, never mind.
Well, I just so happen to have them with me. Actually, we had talked about sharing some of my favorite books. And of course, when we sat down and made our book list, it made sense for us to use some of our favorite books. So I have about 1 million. I don't know how much time we have, but there's 2 authors that I wanted to share with you, and I have a stack of them that I really, really love. One of them is Nicola Davies. Can you see it? Nicola Davies. This book is called Ice Bear. This is a fantastic book. It's great. We use it for January. What I really love about all of her books is that she has I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this, but not only a narrative text, but she also has informational text. So all of her books so far, everything that I've ever read of hers is that format. So it has a narrative text and then has informational text. Obviously, this is about polar bears. This one is about turtles. It's called One Tiny Turtle. Same idea. So it has informational and narrative text. And another book that she has is Bat Loves the Night. Same idea. This is a great one if you're thinking about what am I going to do in October. Maybe you can't do Halloween. So this is a great way for you to bring in that theme without doing Halloween in your classroom. And it's a great informational book. Again, we have narrative along with the informational text. She also has a really great word choice. So this is a great book if you're wanting to talk about in Writer's Workshop, if you're looking for words that would demonstrate some great word choice. I think Nicola Davies does a fantastic job with painting pictures with her words. So pretty much every one of her, oh, look at, here's another one I have called Surprising Sharks. It's about sharks. Pretty much every one of her books follows that kind of format, and she's just really great with words. So I love these. Those are all the ones that I just showed you are part of the Engaging Readers units. And then I could talk forever, but the other author that I love is Cynthia Ryland. So this book is called Scarecrow, also one of our Engaging Readers books. In November, and then another book she wrote called Snow. And again, what I really love about these books is not only can you do comprehension lessons with them, but they can really great mentor texts for writing. So I love talking about writing, teaching writing, as well as I love teaching about the reading process. But these are fantastic books. I'm looking because my dog is going to come in the room, and he's 1 million years old, and he like pants really, really loud.
Thanks for telling. So if we hear that, we know it's the dog, right?
Yeah, it's not me, just so you know. Yeah.
Well, you just mentioned writing, and Deedee has a really special event coming up for Colorado teachers, and it has to do with writing. Can you talk to us about that?
Well, what I've noticed is that whenever I go and do speaking engagements, or whenever I just love talking about writing. But what I've noticed is that there's never enough time to go over everything that I know. I can't do this data dump on writing in an hour and a half. I mean, it's just impossible for me to kind of share everything. And whenever I do those sessions, no matter where I am, it always feels like I can't get it all in. And so I kept thinking to myself, I need a full day just dedicated to talking about writing. So I decided, since I live in Denver, it would be close and easy. I would just set up something here. So here, I'm a little south of Denver, but pretty much close to Denver. We're going to have October 13th, a full day dedicated to writing instruction. We're calling it Writing Camp. So I'm going to walk you through pretty much as much information as I can give you within that day on the Structured Writers Workshop, mini lessons. I'm going to show you how to create your own mini lessons and really master that student writing conference, which is kind of the, that's the thing that moves students along. Not only are your mini lessons are important, but the writing conference is also really important. And honestly, it was the hardest thing for me to learn how to do effectively. And so I've had some tricks that I've learned, and we're going to kind of practice that there at the camp as well. So marshmallow.
I was wondering if it's going to be campy, like do we wear camping gear, stuff like that?
You can wear camping gear. You can wear camping gear if you want. We'll have it's just a camping theme. I thought it would be a fun thing because Denver is kind of known for the outdoors. So I thought it would be a fun theme to have. But you can also, it's going to be on it. One of the things I want to do is do it on a Saturday, because I know that a lot of schools don't have money for subs for release days. Mm-hmm. Just adding a sub cost on top of a conference fee is sometimes prohibitive for schools. So doing it on a Saturday, teachers can come and just spend the day with me.
That is so great. We already linked it below, so they can click on that and get, I wish I was in Colorado so I could come over there and see you. That would be awesome. I could learn so much.
Come on over, we'll have a slumber party. No, I would love to have you. I know.
I would love that too. Well, next time you're in California, we'll get together.
Yes.
That would be awesome. See, this is how we get distracted. We talked about, time? No, we're totally fine. Okay. Go ahead. Tell us more of your books. I have a couple books here too that you inspire me to really love. So go ahead and tell your books, and I'll tell mine.
Well, I'm just thinking of books that you might want to use in the next month or two. So Scarecrow, I mentioned it briefly, is a great book. Cynthia Ryland. She's going to be great for word choice. Anytime I think Nicola Davies or Cynthia Ryland are teachers, are authors that I go to for word choice. So she's fantastic. But the other thing that's really interesting about her books is sometimes she selects really amazing illustrators. And so in kindergarten, what we want to do is we want to really study the work of illustrators at the beginning of the year, because we don't have letter sound association, right? Because they don't know letters or sounds yet, but they can still be writers by drawing pictures. So we study the work of other illustrators. So Laura Stringer is the illustrator in this book. And so what I love to do, hopefully you can hear me and you can see the picture, but I love to look at these illustrations and talk about what we're noticing. So for this page, I might pause and I might talk about why the illustrator decided to zoom in on this page. So one of the reasons that authors or illustrators zoom in either on an illustration or is to draw attention to it and importance of it, right? So that's the reason why they zoom in on an illustration, to draw attention to it or to draw the importance of it. But later on, authors with words will zoom in on a moment, right? So they're going to zoom on in a moment and write with words in great detail on that moment. Does that make sense?
I love that. I'm just so enthralled with the whole thing because I never thought about zooming in on an illustration. Kids are so used to it like on a phone or on a tablet or something, but here you're bringing it to a book.
So exactly. So when we learn how to compose with illustrations, it's an easier transition to say, hey, remember how we did this with the illustration? Let's also try to do that with words, because they've already had practice. They've done it again and again and again. They understand the importance of it. And so it automatically transfers to when they get the transcription skills. Let me show you, there's another version. Like this is kind of a cool picture. I don't know if you can tell, but you can see the scarecrow in the middle. there. And then you can see the birds flying overhead and looking down upon the scarecrow. Can you kind of see that in the picture? So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a bird's eye view, which is amazing because there's birds in there. But anytime you're looking above and looking down, it's a bird's eye view. And that creates a tone. And I mean, I could go on, but this is another illustrative technique that transfers into writing. Let's see if there's, again, here's zooming in. Here's another example of zooming in on the birds. So what's really interesting is by having these lessons, your students pick them up really, really fast. So, you know, I shared this lesson with my class, and within a week or two, it started showing up in their own drawing, zooming in. And I said, why did you do that? Well, because I wanted to show how I was feeling, or I wanted to show more detail. Awesome. So they're already, you know, this is the work of writers, right? This is what writers do. And when you're 5, you can do it too. So it's kind of cool.
I love it. You know, the teacher mom in me is going to start reading nighttime stories like that. I'm going to be saying like, let's look at the illustration. Let's zoom in. Why do you think, you know, poor kids that have moms as teachers, you know?
I know. So yeah, what's going to happen as you start to think about the illustrators is you're going to, and the work that the illustrators do, you're going to actually not be able to see it. As soon as you kind of open your eyes and go, oh, look at the perspective. They're drawing them from behind. They're drawing them from above, from, you know, all these different perspectives. Why do they do that? You will no longer not be able to see it. And those are mini lessons everywhere then.
Love it. Love, love, love it. We have quite a few people here that also love it. Terry here, she also loves Cynthia Ryland, and she needs to get this book. And yes, you do. I'm sure that you could find it anywhere, right?
Yes. Scarecrow is great. Okay, one last thing I was going to tell you, Scarecrow and the word snow. They're both illustrated by the same illustrator. And it's really cool because, okay, so mental picture gets Scarecrow. And then I'm going to find the picture in here where, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. I lost the page. Hold on. It was just there. Okay. So if you look here, ooh, I don't know if you can see it, but the little girl has a stack of books. Okay, you see her with the stack of books? Can you see that book is Scarecrow?
Oh,
you're able to see it. You might not have enough resolution, but it's kind of cool to see how, you know, they show up in other stories. And of course, that's something that authors do also, right? They might tell part of the story in another story, you know, like Hey Diddle Diddle in another book, kind of referencing another story. So anyhow, it's kind of a cool thing. One of the things that I really love, this whole idea of illustrative studies, I didn't create this. It's not my brainchild. This is the work of Katie Wood. I had to think of her name. Katie Wood Ray. She wrote a book called In Pictures and in Words, and it really transformed the way I think about writing. So Katie Wood Ray's book, In Pictures and in Words, totally will change your writing approach.
Awesome. I love it. I wish I would have heard you talk years and years and years ago when I was in the classroom. It would have changed me as a teacher of writing, because you're right. It's hard. We don't know, especially with those little guys. You know, you just think, well, maybe they can't do it. But the truth is they start with this and then they move on.
So fast too. So a lot of teachers say, well, I don't really start writing until I get until January. And I'm like, why? Because you can teach them so much about composing before then. And you know, if you're Common Core State, the standard says they compose in a combination of drawing and pictures, drawing words, right? So that's how they compose. So why do we wait until January? Then we get to January and they're paralyzed because they want to be perfect. We work on all of this. Like I start writers workshop like the 3rd or 4th day of school. And every single day, lesson. By the end of the year, I had some phenomenal writers. But even really early on, September, October, they already were able to tell a story over pages, you know, pages and pages of telling stories. So don't wait. It's so important to start right away.
Yeah, that's true. And if you go over to Mrs. Will's kindergarten blog, you can see examples of what she's talking about. They're all over there. And so if you don't believe her, go there and check it out, because she's got real life student videos on there, and you can check it out. It's great. I'm so inspired by you. And I'm so looking forward to hearing about how it goes with writing camp. I hope a lot of people come, enjoy the entire day with you. What a treat They are so lucky.
Yeah, one of the cool things that I also thought I would offer for writing camp is that for those people who sign up, they'll also get a video recording of the sessions. It's not going to be live because that's like way too techy for me, but I'll do a video recording of the session so that they can always go back and watch it again. So that's going to be included. And then I think ESGI is giving something as well, right?
Oh, at the writing camp. Yeah. We'll definitely hook you up, Deedee Wills, with everything you want.
Well, what I was hearing from Melinda was that they were going to extend trials for those people.
Right. That's exactly right. And we sent out a mail. You did not make it out. Nope. You do get an extended trial. Yes, ma'am. If you sign up for the writing camp, then you get extended trial. So nobody else, just the people that signed up for Deedee's writing camp. So yes, and there's emails going out. There's web pages being made so you can find out more information. So yes, you didn't let a cat out of the bag. We're gonna spam you like crazy. No, I'm kidding. No, we are not. Don't say bad things. But here's another freebie from ESGI and Deedee Wills together as a partnership. You can watch her again on September 26th for a webinar.
Yep.
Exciting. And this time the topic is math, right?
Yes.
You tell us a little bit about
yeah, small group math. So, about the end of September is when, most teachers have been in school about 6 weeks, right? And so the first 6 weeks is just about getting all your chickens to go in the same direction. So about week 6 is that sweet spot where you're able to actually start pulling groups. So I'm going to be spending time with you talking about small groups in the math world. One of the other things that we do is small group in the reading world, but in the math world, it's also really, really great to be able to pull and differentiate your instruction because not everybody starts in the same spot. Some students are way ahead and they already know everything that you're going to probably supposed to teach them that year, right? But they deserve a year of growth. And then you have some students who just, came in, they're just not quite ready. And so they need to have specialized lessons as well. So differentiation in small group is a fantastic way to help those students who need additional help and to help those students who already know it to move beyond. So we'll be talking about small group math.
Small group math, sign up right now.
ESGI is really, really important for me. Anytime I start pulling small group is to have those assessments because right at my fingertips, I can see how do my groups need to be put together. And within that group, who knows this and who knows that, so I can specialize my lessons specifically for them.
Love it. I can't wait. People, there are spots available still. It's free. It's September 26th. We're going to link below to let you sign up for that webinar. So many opportunities to learn from Deedee Wills. You'll
be sick of me. You'll be sick of me by then.
That is not true. Never in a million years, Deedee Wills. We are so glad you joined us today. Thank you so much for spending time with us. It's always a joy and a pleasure.
Thank you. I loved it.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.